Hello everyone, so today I wanted to go over the streamed match that I got to play at Galactics. It was super fun. I was super glad that I got on stream again. It's always really fun to play live in front of people. I just love the extra pressure and the thought of people watching and stuff. It's just really fun to me. Adds a lot of things. Plus the setup for the stage was crazy at Galactics. It was so nice. So I'm really excited that I got to play there. I played round 7 of day 1, so I was 5-1 when it into game 2, day 2. And then technically I could have also lost this round and won the next one. I had one round to go. I'm just gonna go up real quick. And yeah, I was playing Yoda Red. And start of game 1, we're playing against Tarkintown, Cad Bane. I open with a 2-drop as well as Force Throw and a few other things. And on turn 2, you'll notice I don't draw any 3 costs.
And that leader ability, you can put this card back.
As soon as I put this Ray down, I can show you what exactly was in my hand. I love this setup because I can go back and look at all the cards I had at all times. And here I'm going to trade, because basically what it comes down to is I'm going to try and last as long as possible, because if I can get to turn 7 with reasonable health on my base, I'm going to win. And here I'm going to make a play I don't normally do. So you notice I don't have a turn 2 play. I have Force Throw. I have an Open Fire, but since he played Boba Fett, Open Fire doesn't clear. So there's not really a point in open firing the Boba Fett. So instead I'm going to make a choice I don't normally do, and I'm going to use Yoda to stack a Ray on top, and then actually do an early You're My Only Hope to play the 5/5 out.
And using it to draw the Ray during the action phase.
It has no effect on the board.
No, this is actually using to put it into play. So what?
But that's fine because it trades favorably with Boba. And that was the whole idea. I'm like, if I can clear Boba, I can establish control over the game, and I can kind of go from there. For those of you that don't know, Yoda allows it, if something's died this turn, you can draw a card and then put a card from your hand on top or bottom. So it allows you to set up your My Only Hope plays and allows you to stack the Ray, stuff like that. Now he's going to first action use Forlom, use his ping plus Forlom to kill Ray, which is actually fine by me. I'm okay with that because it puts him back pretty far on tempo, right? Because now he has just a 3 damage coming, I'll have 6 damage on my base, which is not much going into turn 5 against Cad Bane. A lot of times they can have a lot more.
Just being able to keep a little bit of that pressure on is what the Cad Bane needs to do early.
And here I'm just going to throw out a Chirrut, and the thing about that is I don't have Force right now. If you notice, I haven't attacked with any Force units, but that's fine because as long as I leave Chirrut inactive, Boba Fett can't get through him because he only does 3 damage, right? If I switch him to rest by attacking, then it's a problem because Boba will do his 3 extra damage. So I'm just putting out things that protect me from damage. Also, if you notice, I have Force Throw in hand, so next turn I can use some Force Throws as well, having that Force unit out.
This is going to be a situation where Eve says, I have a Force unit finally, and I'm just going to empty Jordan's hand, maybe deal with this unit as well, but instead...
And now he does a perfect play for me. He's going to play the Zuckuss, but since the Forlom got cleared last turn, no ambush. So it pings the Chirrut, but still doesn't kill it, because even with the 1 plus the 3, as long as I don't switch it to rest, he can't die. So here I'm going to go, okay, I have Rival's Fall, I have Force Throw, I'm doing both. I might as well Force Throw first to see what happens, and then Rival's Fall. Unfortunately, he pitches a McClunky, which... There's only 1 damage, it's mostly irrelevant at this point, but it's fine. Since I'm going to be Rivals following the Zuckuss... Oh, I actually misplayed there a little bit. I should have put that damage on Boba. I think I was thinking of Open Fire and attacking it to save the Rivals Fall for a potential Cad Bane. But I think after this, I just kind of decide that, you know what, let's just drop the Rivals Fall, because, oh, I'm sorry, Rivals Fall, not, I was thinking it was Fell the Dragon the whole time. That's why I put the damage on there. I'm a big dumb.
something to think about as an alternate lineup.
It would help if I knew the names of my own cards, right?
Eve here does still have an open
So I
fire
have Rivals
available.
Fall,
However,
so and I have Open
think
Fire.
what
I believe
the
I'm going
goal
to
was that
trade
instead of
into the
opening up
Zuckuss, if I
Zuckuss,
remember
the
correctly.
Boba Fett would have attacked into the Shrewd, and
Oh no, I
the
put it
Open
on
Fire
that.
would have
Interesting.
defeated it outright. Instead now, just going to preemptively put that damage and say, hey, if you want to attack in, it's just going to be a forced trade. We'll see if Jordan does accept that.
This is interesting too, because if I want here, okay, he does go for the trade.
So can just bypass the turret anyway as far as the damage goes. And yeah, there is the trade. So the Zuckuss remaining with 5 HP, but we are getting ever closer to when Yoda can deploy and ideally set up a play that takes out a big unit like the Zuckuss.
Here with only 6 damage on my base, I'm still looking decent. I did have kind of an awkward start. Normally you'd like to sit some units on the board, get some restore going, which is hard to do against Cad Bane, right? It's very difficult to do that. And I don't have a removals piece unless I want to drop the Rivals Fall here, which is kind of stinks because I would love to use the Rivals Fall on the Cad Bane. As you can see though, I just can't afford to take the 6 damage, so we are going to drop the Rivals Fall on it.
Play Rivals Fall.
Yep, here comes Cad Bane. We can do the Yoda.
Set myself up into a position where my Yoda will be a good
Put a Crate
player
Dragon, throw that on the bottom, that's
I
fine.
really like that.
And I know here I'm going to take some damage, but the good news is that next turn I do have my Yoda coming out, meaning I can pretty much kill whatever and kind of reestablish. And I'm actually okay with the blaster here because that's a lot less damage. That's like only 2 damage for the turn, right? If he had played another big 6-drop or something, could have been a lot worse.
Eve is now entering the deploy turn.
And I do draw a Fell the Dragon, which is really, really important for this matchup because you want to be able to kill Devastator and Cad Bane.
As well as Luke Skywalker. For a moment there, it just went to the
I'm going to take another 6. Unfortunately, there's not much I could do for that. I don't really need the Bendu because I'm not really looking for a... Oh, there it is. Ooh, got some slowdown here.
Is just like with the, or
Sorry
excuse
about
me,
that.
the 10-10 version, not 10 cost. It costs 8. But I'm wondering if that's another thing.
So here I'm going to play Luke, and I'm going to take all the damage off the Cad Bane. You might think that was weird, but I'm really just trying to not take damage on my leader. Plus, playing Luke kind of baits out the Crate Dragon, or not the Crate Dragon, the Cad Bane. Because if he Cad Bane's my Luke right now, I'm going to be able to kill it with Yoda and just completely reset and put myself just massively, massively ahead. Which he does. He falls for the bait, which is completely fine because a Yoda does that. I already have a,
you know, now the question is, can the Yoda
on top.
Get that back?
Well, we're going to see Eve activate that Yoda leader because a unit has left the arena. So that actually kind of helped Eve out because now
and yep, that crate that I had I put on top. And we get our Luke back, and now we're massively ahead.
Luke play, it's going to be another -3/-3 here on the Cad Bane leader.
So there we go. Now I can start establishing my restore, and outside of like another Cad Bane, which honestly wouldn't even be that bad because I have a Fell the Dragon in hand. I got my restore going. They don't have a lot of good ways to like clear Luke other than Cad Bane, and that's only temporary. Like, was he going to do waylay my Luke? Like, that's fine. I can just replay it and take something with it, so it's perfectly fine.
Not insignificant with 13 damage on base for Eve.
He can put me to 19, but the Fell the Dragon just kind of saves me from whatever. Because little threats I can clear. I have Restore 5 on board.
If one of these gets to attack, that's great. If both get to attack, then suddenly she has turned a corner.
Which just completely clears. I'm going to kill Cad Bane this turn, right? Because either Yoda or Luke both kill Cad Bane. And they can't get killed back, which is really crucial. The Cad Bane only deals 6.
That has the ability, if Eve wants to attack into the Cad Bane leader unit, live, restore 3, and take it out. I think that's pretty tempting. You know, you've also got the Yoda.
But I'm just now in a really, really good spot. That Yoda flip turn, where I got him to play that Cad Bane, just completely flipped the match on him. I don't know if I'd have to go back and look and see if he even had another play, but
at least they've got some strong quality units on the board right now.
it's almost like Eve drew her deck.
And interestingly here, he actually chooses to put damage on Yoda, which
Red Squadron
that seems, I guess he has Devastator. That's right, that's why he did it. He did that so that Devastator can clear the Yoda, which is kind of fine for me because I have Fel the Dragon.
All of these are things you kind of want to see early, but
yep, there's the Devastator.
It kind of doesn't matter, I think, at the moment. We do have the
2 to Yoda, 2 to
down,
base.
that will defeat the leader Yoda.
That is,
but honestly, Luke's the bigger threat at this point because he's restoring more and he has more attack.
That is a little bit of a sigh of relief for Jordan to be able to take the Yoda leader unit out. There's so much health on that sometimes it can be a real struggle.
And poof, there we go. We're back down to low health or low damage again.
Eve does get to restore even more.
And we get to Fel.
Yeah,
from the base.
Avoid that.
So now, literally, the only thing I'm scared of is more Devastators.
Again, this is a big reversal.
Put some more Restore on board.
Yoda does hit the table
and we've completely stabilized.
Has Restore, so Eve just kind of turned back the clock here.
You restore and the card drop, but look at that draw. Cad Bane Hostage Taker again. That 7-drop legendary from Shadows of the Galaxy.
So he does draw another Cad Bane, which obviously is good. However, you notice I also drew one of my Fel the Dragons this turn, so that's just not going to matter. This could have actually been a decent turning point for him if I didn't have a removal.
Returned to the hand, and I would imagine that that's going to be the answer to this Cad Bane. So first one, felling of the dragon, aimed at a Devastator, and now snaps it down.
Is a little...
You know what? Just give me those units.
Yep, just give me my Restore back.
That's a way to exhaust your opponent's units, but you know you do avoid the 5 Restore, which I think. Is
and there we go, even more Restore, even more Restore.
Yaddle can give Luke and Yoda an additional +1 Restore, like. That is so much.
So this is how the deck kind of gets silly towards the end of the game, especially against these more early game kind of mid-rangey type decks. Like I have, let's see, 1, 5, 6, I have 9 Restore on board, yeah, like they just said. So like, he eventually can't win anymore. There's no way to go over the top, he doesn't play board wipes.
On the board for a single player.
It's a lot on the board, but again, this is also...
there we go, and then that's game 1.
So
game 1 went pretty well. Even though I opened awkward, I managed to bring the game back by just reducing his damage as much as possible. The big key turn, obviously, was with the Luke, making sure that I provided a target for him to Cad Bane, because if he doesn't Cad Bane there, that's also fine. I have a Luke out, and Luke trades pretty well with the leader, so I can just kind of wait for him with my Yoda flip.
What would be the state of the game then with Cad Bane being able to theoretically refill their hand a little bit from the attack and
pop forward,
legendary from Shadows of the
okay,
Galaxy.
this is play of the last one.
Draw trigger.
One sec. Pop over to here we go. Here's turn 1.
There was a lot of kind of scary cards in there.
So they did drop a there we go. Drop her, but luckily I had multiple turn 1 plays. So they couldn't shut out my turn 1, so they discarded Chirrut because Chirrut's annoying.
I feel like there was potentially an argument to be made for the Night Sister because when you looked at Eve's hand,
another thing you'll notice, and I skipped past it actually too, is against Cad Bane, no matter what, I'm passing the opening action, even if I'm going first, because I don't want them to immediately tarkintown my first thing. I don't mind if they do it a little later, but if they start that far ahead, it becomes very, very difficult for me to maintain board.
Mist Hunter comes down now, and you know, maybe some card draw opportunity a little bit.
So they play a Mist Hunter, and that's actually going to be really pivotal in this game.
Establishing a 3/4 in the space arena for 3 is
if you give Cad Bane too many cards, he can really start to overwhelm you.
By Jordan, because before it was just that lurking TIE Phantom that was going to be the turn 2 play. Mist Hunter not only has more health, but
so I go to base because there's no reason not to. He's going to trade in anyways. Yep, easy peasy. I can take my draw, see what I get. I do have a Yoda this turn, and it looks like I drew a second one. So it's probably just going to be a Yoda, but we are always going to be taking the extra action here.
Interesting. So a second Yoda Old Master drawn from the Night Sister Warrior to card draw trigger.
And one of the best things about Yoda is I get to filter my deck like that.
From the Yoda leader activation and holds on.
Unfortunately, I do kind of have to play into a 4 alarm. Gosh darn it! Why is this being so weird? Oh.
guarantees that the Force Throw can take out anything at this point.
Unfortunately, I do have to
I like
play
that, and
into
again,
him having a
if it's
4-lom
something
on
that you want to go
4,
back
because
on the
obviously
top of the deck
Yoda
later,
kills
that's
4-lom, but
the
it doesn't
beauty. You can hold
clear.
this in your hand in case
But
you
I
wanna
don't
use it
really
for
have
Force
anything else
Throw,
I can
but
play.
then as
Like,
you
if
get
for
closer
openings,
to
a
the
little
Yoda
slower.
leader
He's got a
deployment,
lot
you can
more
just jam it
gas
right
going
back on
forward with
top
that
and then
3-drop
use
coming
that
down.
for that activation.
Yeah, very true.
So this is a little
So
sketchier
Jordan
than the
looking
first
at
one.
the Yoda on the other side.
I don't just get to
you know,
play a
you always
5
feel bad giving
attack,
them another
5
card by attacking into
defense
it, but
on turn
the
2.
Forlom might be a tempting way to start this turn.
And now I see I have a Force Throw, which isn't bad. I have
playing the
3PO in
Forlom so you can get that
hand. I
card
have a
draw.
You're My Only Hope,
We'll
so I
see
could
here.
try and go for a play with
Yeah, I would
that.
expect, as you were saying, this
Yep, and
Forlom
there's that.
not only
So
does
that
it
dies, we
trade
draw a
and
card.
survive, but it does set up that Mist Hunter draw. And
Fell the
again,
Dragon,
Jordan's
which
hand,
is
not
good,
the
but
greatest
not what
at
I
the
need
moment.
right
The other
now.
reason that you really want to get this Forlom down is we do also see the Zuckuss in the hand now.
And I
with
drew
Jordan.
another
So
You're
that
My Only
Forlom
Hope. And now I'm trying to
sticks
decide, do I go
around.
for a double
We
of
could
this?
see that combo. We talked about it in game 1 where
A big
Forlom
key part of
is
this, and you
around
notice he
because
has
that
Zuckuss in
gives
his hand
ambush
again,
to
is
Zuckuss
making
as
sure I
well
clear
as
that
+1/+1,
4-lom.
and then Zuckuss provides a similar effect, instead providing +1/+1
He's going to
to
start drawing
Forlom and
cards,
getting
which is
Forlom's
bad.
saboteur to boot. So there's
But
2 peas in a pod.
I
Yeah,
did
mean,
stack
they're buddies for a long time now.
a Vigilance on top for my You're My Only Hope, so I will get to kill the 4-lom and clear my damage off.
That is quite the play there to get the heal, remove the
So that slows him down pretty
shuts down the
significantly,
Zuckuss play
because
that you were
now he
talking
can't
about
do
for
an
that
ambush
next turn,
Zuckuss play next
and
turn.
Eve really kind of like seizing control back in the game. And
But
now
I am
for
still
Jordan, you're
behind because
already
that
getting a
Mist
little bit
Hunter is
worried here
drawing
because you haven't been
cards.
able to put any meaningful damage on the opponent's base.
And the long
Your
term, if we
board
draw
is,
the same
you know,
amount of
okay,
cards,
it's
it's going to
not
start getting
stellar. At
rougher and
least you got
rougher
a card
later.
off of the Mist Hunter attack, but it's a little bit rough.
I love what Eve was able to do here. Vigilance is a card that has been ran in Vigilance-based control decks for a long time.
One thing
Even
notably
if you
too
are
about that
single
Vigilance
aspect,
card is
it's
that is a
worth paying
side
the
card.
penalty
It's
for.
not
We've
something
seen it time
I
and time
normally
again.
bring in, but
But
in
when
this
you're also
matchup,
running
there's a bunch of
You're
cards
My
that I
Only
don't
Hope and you
want,
have the
right?
Yoda leader,
A lot
you
of
can
my
also
late
just
game
ignore
cards
the
just aren't
aspect
necessary,
penalty
because really
by
all I need to
putting it
close
on the
this game
top
out is
and
like
doing
Luke.
that
I don't need
together
Crate
to
Dragon or like
avoid
anything
keeper.
like
So
that.
Yep.
So
beautiful
usually
setup.
Crate just ends
Love
up
what
being
Eve
something
did
I
there.
top for Yoda or for a Force Throw or
Again,
something.
you know, if you're bringing a deck
Also,
like
I
Yoda to a tournament
play
like this,
bombing
you're
runs
gonna
in the
need to
main,
have
which
the
I don't
reps
really
on it,
want in this
right?
matchup either.
You
So
can
Vigilance
tell
just
already
kind of
from the
comes in
record that
because
5-1,
it's
Eve
a card I
definitely
can at
does
least
have the experience
use.
necessary to pilot this deck well, and it's been looking good so far. You know, Jordan, you know, in a situation where a lot of that stuff is going to come out, but he knows there's things like Fell the Dragon. It's so scary to play this.
And so now I
Zuckuss,
can
and
kind of
it's
just
even
put forward a
scarier
Poe
when there's
Dameron
already
because
terrifying
it's
unit
annoying for them to get rid
established
of
on
it,
the board
right?
like the Poe
He doesn't
Dameron,
have really a
you know,
play
now
on
the
6
Zuckuss won't be
that
in the ambush. The
kills
Forlom
the
is long
Poe.
gone, although he's got another one in the hand now. But that, you know, that Poe
And he
Dameron
draws
could end up
again.
causing a lot of problems for Jordan.
So you notice
Right,
this.
Jordan going to
I'm not
draw a
lowering his.
card
I'm
because,
trading
again,
positively, but I'm not lowering his
Zuckuss
cards at
did
all
attack,
because
and then
he keeps
when-
drawing
or,
off that
excuse me,
stupid
Zuckuss was
spaceship.
played, and then the Mist Hunter did attack, which allows it to draw a card. And I think Jordan's just trying to dig. The later this goes, obviously, the more the match will favor Eve. We can already see in the hand some really powerful cards, right? We see the Fell the Dragon. We see the Rivals Fall. We also see that Bendu that could.
And the
come
good
down
news
on
is
the
I do
board
have the
later.
Rivals for the Cad
There's
Bane flip
also
here.
just more card draw with the
So
Giatti.
Poe
have
can
the
take
Blue
out
Array, which could be
both the
jammed back
ground
top,
units on
essentially
attack,
because the full
and I can
toolbox
kill the
available.
Cad Bane,
And
but
on
then
the
he's still
other
going to be up
side,
tempo if he keeps
Jordan
drawing with the
has
ship.
been left with kind of not a lot that has a direct impact on the things that Eve wants to do. And I think that's why Jordan has just been so focused on what can I do to make sure I draw off this Mist Hunter until I find something that will either buy me time or allow me to push damage.
Yeah. Now, if that Zuckuss
So I
somehow
know I have to
survives,
clear, obviously,
you know, then the Forlom can
and
come
I
in
have a
at
few extra
5-5,
cards in my hand at
an
this point. I
ambush
have
with
6.
Saboteur, which can be
So it's a
impactful,
pretty
but
good
all
idea,
he
just so it
has to
doesn't
do
get
is just use that
McClunkied,
Fell the Dragon,
because that's a
and,
way I
then
can
the
kind
Forlom
of
in
get
the hand is
screwed
kinda shut
here
down, and
is
obviously they don't know
if
it's
they
there, but,
McClunky the
you
Bazine,
know, it's never a bad thing to get rid of the.
and all of a sudden I
six
lose my
because,
Rivals
the,
Fall.
The Bazine is going to get attacked into. Oh no, that's the Poe Dameron. Yeah, attacking into the Zuckuss and then using the discard for the.
And normally, if they hadn't drawn, you know,
Great
3 or
heads-up
4
play
extra
by
cards
Eve
here, I would
because
be
that
pitching
allows
another
her
card to
to
discard from their
save
hand
the
as
Fell the
well.
Dragon
Because
in
usually
case
if you're up
something
cards,
else
it's
comes down
always
later.
worthwhile to do that
She
with
has access
Poe.
to both that and Rivals
However,
Fall for
yeah,
the Cad
they've been
Bane
drawing a
because
bunch
we
of
are
cards, so I
on
don't get to do that.
Deployment turn, Fell the Dragon for the
And I
unit
believe
Cad
I
Bane.
still don't have force at all this game either. And there we go. They're starting to go to space, which is much weaker for me. me.
Working TIE Phantom
I don't
is
have
the
a
play
good way to
for
get through
Jordan,
Phantom
just,
other than
bring
like
a little
Luke,
bit more pressure in the air,
which
you know,
I don't
possible,
have yet,
and,
which is
oh,
very
as the
unfortunate.
rivals fall, as soon as the leader is
But yeah, there
deployed,
goes the
and,
Rivals
you
Fall,
know,
just according to
sometimes you
plan.
just have to say to yourself, if they have it, and, you know, Eve had it that time.
Well, and what's even
But yeah,
worse
think
is
about
I
how
don't think
different this
Jordan
game
had a
would be right now
choice.
if they have
Eve
2 cards in hand
only
instead
has
of
7
5.
damage on her base.
Yeah.
As we said before, this is not the same aggressive start that Jordan had the first time around. So you kind of have to.
The commentators
handpick her
say
and
that it's not the
okay,
same
you
aggressive
don't
start,
have it.
but
Maybe I can
having
get
one
into this
unit
game. It's so
that
weird
sits
because
there and draws
Jordan
cards is
has
probably
all of
fine.
the units
Because
on the
later
board
in the
right now,
game,
but
he
somehow
can go ahead
still
and play
feels
like a
behind
3, a
in the
2, and a
actual
2.
match.
Yeah, I mean,
And that
you
gets
could
actually
play
really
the
annoying for
Orison
me to
first,
remove
but you
even
wanna
with my
wait and try to get
restores.
the benefit from the Cad Bane leader ability, and so that, you know, makes sense to flip it first. And again, it, like you said, the pressure, the pressure of having to cause pressure is definitely affecting Jordan right now, and the leader not
And
getting
I
anything
still
done on
don't
the unit
have
side
Luke.
of things, but at
Luke would have
least,
been a
you know,
great
still
card
got
here.
it
It would
in
have
the air.
solved my
And so
space
now we are
problem.
approaching the
It would
turn
have put a
where
lot of
Eve will
pressure
have the
down, forcing
deployment
him to
of
have
the
something
Yoda
to
leader
remove it.
available.
Which, if you
Has
notice, I don't
the
know if
great
Fennec has
trigger.
enough
We're
right
gonna see
now,
that
but
happen
like,
now. That will be a
it
Yaddle
forces
to
me.
get
I
rid of
know
the
I don't have any way
Orison
to
that
kill
was
anything,
played,
unfortunately, so I have to
but
blind flip
also
the
you get
Yoda.
a Yoda, which
The
is
good
a
news
nice
is I
casual
don't have
4/9
that
with Restore 2.
many
Yeah, just a casual,
one
gigantic
drops, so
unit
I
with a good
was
amount of
pretty sure I
restore
was
time.
always
Nothing,
killing.
nothing
I
to worry
really
about there.
wanted the 3,
I wonder if
but I didn't have a
Jordan's
way to
Cad
trigger
Bane
my Yoda
list
stack because I
runs,
didn't have a way to kill
some
any
of
units.
the cunning villainy pilots that we saw
It's one of the
in
reasons that a lot of
Jump to
times Luke
Lightspeed.
comes down before
Occasionally you
Yoda
do
is because
see
Luke
like
comes down,
the
kills something small,
Bosk or
and then
the
Yoda effect
Boba
stacks one to
Fett.
the top, and then
You know,
Yoda
it's
flip
not
kills
in
something
every
big.
Cad Bane list, but I have seen it pop up from time to time, and with that lurking TIE Phantom, would be nice. Not
Now
in
I'm
the
gonna
hand
start
right
getting
now,
chunked
obviously, if
here.
it even exists in the deck, but just something to kind of think about to give a
At
little bit
this
more
point, I
reach to it.
realize I
But
might actually just be stuck
I
in a
think Jordan
race,
right now is
like
just
ground
kinda
versus
thinking to himself, how in
space.
the world do I handle this Yoda?
Exactly, because not only is it coming for damage, but the restore game begins.
And so he's gonna start
the fact that
plunking away at the
Eve with
Yoda, and that's a
critical
really good
mass of
trade-in because it
restore
leaves
on
him
the
with
board,
1
and there's
damage
no
on
way
it
for
as
Jordan
well.
to push through it. Yes, this is only 1 unit with restore, but if you're Jordan, you're
So
saying,
that
oh,
if
no,
I
not
do an
again.
action now, he can
Yep, Cad Bane
immediately
exhausted for the 1 damage ping, but Yoda with 9 health
do
is
his
not
thing.
to
I
worry
do
about,
2 draw, and
facing
I'm
that
really
with
hoping
2
to draw a
cards
Ray
drawn
here, which I
by
don't,
Kiadi
sadly.
Mundi, with the Force
Ray would have
token
been
being
great because it could have
used.
cleared the
Now the
Bosk.
3 attack
And
coming
there we
in,
go.
and
That's
because of the
5
Bosk order, that is
cards
a card
off the
draw
Miss
for Jordan at
Hunter
least.
that
So
has been there
hand
since turn
size-wise,
2.
keeping up admirably with this Yoda.
And I can't help but notice, if you were watching when Eve was drawing, didn't just pick up the 2 cards, went 1 by 1. I think Eve was hoping that maybe another Ray with Palpatine's power was there, because that would have allowed her to reveal it and then just defeat the Bosk with damage while also getting more damage on
And
the
here,
base.
I'm not
I
sure
do
if
think
that was
that's
the
why
right play.
Kiadi was the
Honestly,
play there.
it might have been
Very heads
better
up. Again,
to
just
claim
playing
initiative
your
there.
outs.
I
Even
think
if
I
you
was a
don't
little
know what the
worried because they
cards
had
are,
2
you still might
resources
get
left, and
lucky.
I went for a
Yeah,
little
for sure.
riskier line. If I had
Now
claimed
this
there,
Bosk
then I could
is
have
in
had
play. There's some
Kiadi defeat the
relentless
Bosk.
pursuit in
The
the hand of
problem
Jordan,
is,
which, you know,
like,
could be annoying. I
so
believe
many
you could
things
capture
kill
the Kiadi Mundi
kill
as
Yoda
truly
when he
nice
has that
Distant
much
Warrior
damage
and
on him.
get that shield on the
Forlom
Bosk.
kills
I don't know if
him,
that's gonna
Open
be,
Fire kills him if
that's
they
not
have
gonna be the
that.
play that swings things,
Another
but
boss
any way
kills
you
him.
can
There's
be,
just a lot
you know,
of
more or less
things.
majorly disruptive to the board
So I think I was like,
is
you know what,
worth
let's
it.
put
That
more
said,
stuff
also
on
got options
board.
like
This
the
might turn
Fennec
into a
Shan as
race
well.
anyways,
Well,
so...
if you're talking about options on the other side of the board, Eve has
Wow.
Bendu.
I mean,
We have a Crate Dragon in hand, but I also wanted to point out, I love the inclusion of Rebellious Hammerhead in this list. That's a card that's got a lot of value, especially with Legends of the Force. It's a card that when played,
And here
you
they
can
do a
deal
really
damage to a
annoying
unit equal to
thing
the number
where
of
they
cards
actually
in your
put a
hand.
shield on their
This is
guy,
a
so
list that
Yoda
wants
doesn't
to
even kill
draw
him.
a
Plus it
lot of
effectively
cards, so
removes
that's
2 of my
helpful.
things.
But then also, because it's, you know, a 6-cost unit itself, it's also very good when you are activating the Yoda deploy ability. Again,
And now I've got
it's
to
kinda
think,
weird.
right? Because there
When you're
isn't that much I can
playing
do.
this
I want to
Yoda
get my
leader, you
restore
need
in
a
because
certain number
otherwise
counter,
Bosk is just gonna kill
a certain
Yoda.
number of cards that cost a high value.
So I
to
swing
make
into
sure that you're always
base,
getting rid
kind
of
of
a
see
key
where we're
target on the
at.
deploy.
The
Right.
good news is that
Bosk runs into Yoda,
he can't
and,
restore,
that'll
right? He
be
doesn't
a
have any
trade
way
right
to
there,
gain
but I
health,
think,
whereas
does he
I
have to-
do.
oh, no, my bad.
So
He
if
did
I
use
can
the, relentless pursuit
manage
to
to
put the
kind
shield on
of
the Bosk.
stabilize this
And
board,
so
remove a
able
few
to
things,
take
I
out the
might be
Yoda
okay.
leader unit
So Hammerhead
and
comes
keep the
down,
boss in
and
play for now.
finally,
There's Rebellious Hammerhead, though, to
the
run into
Headhunter
Misthunter.
leaves.
Yeah, and I like
That
that.
damage.
Already done so
He
much
could
damage.
have
He would have an
potentially
empty hand
targeted
right
the
now
boss,
if not
but
for
I
that
think
card.
improperly recognized that Jordan
Uh,
is really only in this game because that Misthunter has allowed Jordan to dig deeper and deeper for a while there.
So yeah,
Jordan
instead of
was
him running
struggling
out
to
of
keep up
options
with the
now,
cards
he's
in
got
hand, but has
Crafty,
been,
he's got a
able to utilize that
Forlom,
Mist
he's
Hunter
got another Lurking
perfectly
Tie in
this game
hand,
too.
just a bunch of stuff. I can't deal
So
with all of
Crafty
this at
Smuggler
once.
played. That's another nice
And he's
shielded
smart
unit, a
here
little
where he
bit
goes
more
and he
resilient
spreads out all
against,
his
what
units,
Yoda
right?
has. And although that Rebellious Hammerhead in the air is certainly a threat, you know, Jordan's starting to build the board back again a little bit.
See, and
But,
now I'm in
how
a really
much,
bad spot. I
progress
still
could you
haven't
get
drawn
here?
Luke, so I
Half
still
the
don't
health,
have my big burst restore in
removed
at
from the Eve
all.
base. That's still 14 damage you need to do.
It is still 14 damage. I will say these Lurking Tie Phantoms
And it's not getting much
in
better.
the Space Arena do represent a lot of potential damage on the board, and they are difficult.
Plus, if you look, my opponent has just drawn Sneak Attack.
Yeah.
That could
Which I'm
be a
assuming
way
he
that
keeps,
Jordan
because
finds a way to close this
Sneak
game
Attack
out,
is a really
because
good way to
Eve is
kind of
now
surprise
struggling
kill
to
me when
find
I
more
don't see
healing.
coming. So that even if I
Yeah,
do
very true.
stabilize, especially because I'm at 14 damage, and he has,
Can
what,
Jordan tie up the series
14
now? We
on
know that
at home?
there's
He technically
the,
has
deal
lethal on
44
the board.
blaster in the
But with the
resources
Sneak
too,
Attack,
so a
even
little
if I
bit of
clear
extra burst
something, if I
damage
don't have a way to, like,
potentially
out
coming
stuff,
from
it's
the,
not even
ground
going to
arena.
matter.
Then, yeah, Hammerhead runs into one of the Lurking Tie Phantoms. I think you absolutely want to get rid of one of those. Yeah, that is a top priority coming into this turn. But I think this leaves Jordan with a nice opportunity to get some decent damage done to base with the Bosk. Is it just going to be the blaster, or is he going to maybe go for something a little bit different here?
I'm just kind of looking through the options available to Eve, and I believe she might be
This is
able
how he
to
wins, right? He's got to
clean
keep
up
applying pressure the
all
whole
of
game, no
Jordan's
matter
units
what.
except
Because as
for
soon
the
as he gives me any
Phantom.
space to breathe,
Interesting.
So this
he's
Bazine
not
is
gonna
actually
be
a
able to
really
come
heads-up
back from
play
my
because
restore.
Jordan might have the ability to slow that
So
down.
very smart here.
Open
He knows
fire
I have a lot
and
of resources.
or
He
force
pops the
throw, I think,
Bazine.
are
He knows
likely
even if I
the-
had like a good play in
the
hand,
most,
I have to kill a
appropriate
Lurking Tie
choices because
first.
you
So I
just don't
could
want him to
very
be able
much
to
still
pick
have
off
like
your
Luke.
units, but
I
you
could
also
have
potentially
crate,
take
things
the
like that
in-way
he's
away,
worried
and
about,
that
which
would
he takes the crate.
deactivate force throw from activating
Because
for the
crate
extra damage, but
stops,
instead
lets
just
me
gets
kill his
rid of the
ground
crate
units, which he
dragon.
doesn't want that to
Crate
happen.
Dragon, the choice there, and I think the logic behind that is saying
The
that is
secret here is
card
after
in hand
seeing
that
his
just
my hand,
simply
he should
ends
know
the
that
game once played.
I've basically
That Crate
lost.
Dragon
Like,
goes down.
I can Hammerhead, I
Cad
can
Bane
blow
has
this
a
up.
very, very hard time playing anything and getting it to
But he
stick.
just has so
That
much
does mean that the
damage.
Bosk is unable to do the damage. But at least, you know, you get through with 4 more for the Lurking Tie Phantom. It is sort of creeping
And
up
I didn't
there,
realize
but
too that,
yeah, I think
like,
Jordan looking at that hand and being like, oh boy.
the fact that
There's a
my,
lot of- there's
not that I had a
of
way
strong stuff
around it,
there.
but the
So
fact
this
that the
is gonna be really
spaceship got
heads up for
pinged
Eve because
and
she
died was a
used
really
the
big deal
Rebellious
here, because
Hammerhead
otherwise I could
to
actually
get
be
rid of the
threatening game on the
Bosk,
next
but that
turn as
also
well.
meant she got the Kiadi back, which will now turn on her ability to use force throw.
But all he
because she
really has
has a
to
force unit
do
on
is
her
like
side.
play a
This
bunch of
is,
small units,
again, going to be a
and
turn where
he's too far ahead at
even
this
if
point.
she can't get rid of all of Jordan's units, she'll be right back in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And here I
Yeah,
do
it's not
have
over
some
by a long
options though,
stretch.
because I do have a force
You
throw
know,
in hand,
when you
right?
look at things down the line, now
But if
I
you
am
look
kinda
up,
worried
force
about
throw
that
doesn't
Fenrir
really
just
do
hitting the
much,
board.
right? It
The
doesn't
stats
kill the
are just
Lurking
so
Tie.
big.
It doesn't
Jordan's got a
kill
Whaley
the
in hand,
shielded
but you're kind of
guy.
delaying the inevitable at that point.
And here
There's a
comes the
blaster
blaster,
coming down
so
the
that's going to be
Crafty
4
Smuggler.
more.
And I like this. 4 damage to base. Shield is there. Just make it a little bit more difficult to remove. He knows
So I'm
there's
down to
a Felder Dragon in the
7,
hand
6
too,
health,
so
6
this
health.
keeps it just underneath the Felder Dragon.
So any
damage
booster
threshold,
basically wins him the game, like
where that
any
can
sneak
be a target.
attack, another hot
So,
shot
you
blaster,
don't see a lot of
anything like
blasters
that.
on, Crafty Smugglers, especially at this point in the game. But I think
And I do have a restore too, so like I don't have
technical.
nothing. Hypothetically, if he
And now
doesn't have
Jordan
any,
does, I believe, take the initiative here.
Yeah.
there is a way
And
for me
if
to
we
win
have
if he has
another
0 over the
blaster,
top, right?
Or if
Because
there
I
is a
could, he
drawn
swings with
surprise
one of his
strike or
fours
anything like
first,
that
I
would
kill
be
the other
enough to
one,
get the
restore
job
2.
done.
Now he only
For
has 1 more
multiple
damage, I have
units.
3 health.
Yeah, it doesn't
And I
look
could
like
try
it's
and take
there,
it back.
from what we can see in his hand.
I do
You've
have
got the,
like
you know,
Chariot in
sneak
hand, I
attack,
have
another
Felder
clunky
Dragon,
sneak
Force
attack
Throw,
might
like
be
I do
the
have
way
ways
go,
to out things, right?
Just because, you know, you're able to.
But if
play
he
in
has
that
any
full
over the
on
top
down
card,
and
it doesn't
maybe
matter.
you're
If you
lucky,
look in his
have
hand,
them
he
run
has
out of
Sneak
options,
Attack,
run out
he
of
has
action.
another
But no,
blaster,
got
he's
the
got
blaster,
literally
and
everything.
that's
There's no
gonna
way
do it.
I'm getting
So
through
Jordan
here.
with the fist bump, and you know,
So I
we're
lose
going
game
to
2, and I
three,
realized to
like we
myself,
said,
oh
I
my
mean,
god, I
think that
cannot
Yoda has
let
a lot
that
of, tools to deal
Headhunter
with this,
ship
but the Cad
stick
Bane
around, because
has
that's
that reach
100%
sometimes.
why I lost.
Absolutely. I think that the
Go into game 3.
leads off with the Bazine Natal
And
play.
yep, opens with a
This
Bazine,
look like he wants
takes
to
out,
give
but
her
once
the
again, I
edge.
keep
do
2
that.
opening turn
Again,
plays.
the restore was the difference maker, but
This is a
love that she has
blind
this backup
C-3PO, which
play,
isn't great, obviously, but
specifically because she also has
that's
the
also
You're My Only
fine.
Hope.
It's
So
just important
C-3PO
that I
here is
actually have a
going to
turn
allow
1
her to see
play.
what's on top. It's not going to be a blind attempt. Even
The
if you
good thing
don't
about them
have
playing
your
Bazine
leader
over
activation,
something
you get
else
that
is that it is
additional
slower.
information.
So I will have more
Yeah, that's
time
right.
to kind of
The
react
one
here.
kind of drawback is just not having the force unit out there to gain the force token. And, you know, while this deck isn't necessarily the deck that needs it every single turn, it's just nice to have that in your pocket.
Absolutely. Now, another thing that works really well with this C-3PO unit,
I do have Your My
from
Only Hope
Spartan
again,
Rebellion,
which obviously
is
is
the
really
fact
nice.
that
I was able to
later
use it
on,
pretty
as the
well
game
game 1.
progresses,
Game
if
2, it was
sticks
kind of the
around,
only play I
you
had,
can
so I had to
also
burn it.
have your Yoda
I
leader
don't have the Luke to
activate,
go with it.
put
If I
a
draw Your
note
My Only
card
Hope, I
on
usually
top,
try to
then
keep
you
it for
get
the Luke
to
on
name
5.
the
Because if you can Luke
costs
on
with your
5,
C-3PO
usually
so that
you win.
guarantee draw it. So it essentially turns your leader activation into
Now,
a
I could put a
delayed
Poe in
additional
play
card
with
draw,
it on this
which is
turn.
fantastic in the later
Assuming
stages of the
that
game.
something
Well,
dies,
people have
obviously,
been
because
doing
I
the
need
same
something to
thing
die
with
in
the
order to stack.
R2D2 from Spark Rebellion along
And
with the
here,
C-3PO
I don't
since way
remember
back in,
what
yeah,
this
set
issue
one, but yeah, Yoda
was.
gives you that optional way
Oh,
of
I
doing it
missed
too,
my
and you don't
draw.
necessarily
I
need to
didn't draw off
those two
Bazine,
units on the
which...
board at the same time. It
My
is nice.
fault, but it is mandatory to draw one of those cards, like if you read the card.
I think that there is...
They don't have to discard it, but
just
if
a
they do, I
decision
have to
being
draw a
made
card,
by
so
Eve
technically
here
I get to
about
draw
what to
the extra card to
resource,
replace the
taking a
Bazine card I
moment.
forgot to draw.
So we're just going to hang tight here. I do love that what Eve has.
To realize
available
after,
in
I'm like,
hand
why
is
do I have
yet
no cards in my
another normal,
hand?
because that could be paired with the Force Throw.
There we go. So the
trying
judge
to,
just like, just
go
draw
back
another
to,
card, nothing was
that
switched.
last turn
Didn't
when
make a difference. It
obviously
was
we're
only a
going off
negative
the
for me
information you see on
because
the screen here,
I had
but
one less card to
wonder if
play
it was the
from
case where the
technically.
card was
I know the
not
funny
drawn
thing is I think
after
it was a
the game
Yaddle, so I
removed
actually
the
would have
Yaddle
had a
from
better
hand.
play on one if I had done it correctly.
That could be it. Don't quote me on it. Looks like we're moving on with the game anyway.
But here I'm
just
thinking,
trying
I
to
go,
back
okay,
through
so
the
I have
thing
Yaddle,
again
which isn't a
what
terrible
that
play,
chapter could
right?
be about. Either way, we've got
Or
Jordan
we could
playing
do
the
something
rookie TIE
interesting.
Phantom as the pressure is
Force
on.
throw, I have Force throw Yaddle.
That Phantom is
That's the other option
welcome
here.
sight to Jordan, because both of them, there were 2 last game, were very effective. Again, they're very hard to deal with.
Now what I'm going to
playing
do
a
is I'm going to
control deck.
swing into
There's
his
a unit that
unit.
cannot
And
be
why am I
captured,
doing this?
damaged,
The
or
reason is
defeated by
because
enemy
I
card
want him
abilities.
to
This
Tarkintown
includes
me.
events, so
And
it's
I
not just
know
cards
that,
on the
and I
table,
got the
but also
bait. So that was a
cards from
complete
hand.
bait,
Right.
Now,
because
you
now I
still
can
get rid
top
of it the
deck
good old-fashioned way
Poe,
with attacking it, but
and
Eve has
I
not
can
had
Your Only
many
Hope him
cheap
on this
space
turn.
units in this list. It's been mostly
And
those
I don't
rebellious hammerheads,
believe,
so if you can play the
with
lurking TIE
the
Phantom early, like
Tarkintown
Jordan
gone,
did,
they
you're
have
gonna get
any
that
way to deal with
benefit.
this
And,
now.
Whoa.
You're My Only Hope finds a massive Poe
And
damage.
that play was not
Yeah,
possible
6-6 unit
unless
this
he
early in the
Tarkintowned
game, and
my
not just
unit.
any 6-6 unit,
So I
Poe
baited him
Dameron,
into it.
Quick to improvise. One of the
But I did have a
premier, I would
backup,
say,
right?
heroism
If that didn't
aggression,
work and he didn't
cards
Tarkintown
in
it,
that
then
color
I could have
combination
just
in the
played the
game.
Yaddle and Force
Just
thrown
has so
him.
many great
Wouldn't have been
abilities,
as
so to
good,
get that
obviously.
early,
I probably
is
would have
scary.
gotten that, like,
Quite scary
surprise strike
for
out of his
Jordan
hand or
there.
something. But now I am
Not
at a
only
big
does
advantage. I've
this
got a
Poe
big
Dameron
unit on
attack
board.
for a lot,
So I've
but because
basically
of
locked
the
up the ground,
on-attack
right?
ability
He can't really
and
get through
Eve
that this
having
turn.
a ton of ways to draw additional cards. If she wants, she could just kind of blow up her hand to blow up Jordan's board in return, or also target the hand. One of the things that Poe Dameron allows you to do is
Got a
when
couple
he attacks,
interesting
you can
options
discard a
here. So I
card
have
from
both
your own
Rey
hand
and
to
You're
make
My
your
Only Hope.
opponent discard a card. And if
So
she pairs that, say, with
if he
Force Throw,
does
she could
somehow
also just
manage to kill
strip
it,
a
I
lot of
can
the hand
Rey.
from Jordan away.
That's an interesting question. I guess
But
then
I also have
the
like a pretty good way to
follow-up
just
question
throw a
is,
bunch of units on the
is
board,
there the
right? So I have
confidence there that
Yaddle
Yoda
and
will be able
Owen.
to,
Yaddle
draw you
restores.
enough cards to
Owen
kinda
is
make
just
up for that
kind of, you can
tactical
always
combo?
throw it out
So
there, and
there's
there I
that
see.
OMRs
The
being
really
played
nice
by,
thing about
Eve
Owen in this
on the ground
matchup
there.
is
He would
now
just
when he
from
plays a
Lessons of
unit, I
Force,
can put the
has something
damage on
absorb, but
Owen
also has that
instead
really great when
of
defeated ability
the
of
Poe. It
finding
like
a force
protects
unit out of
him,
the top 5 cards in your deck. Talk about
which is a
hand
really
killing,
big
right?
deal.
There is that. I like the
So there's the
idea of
Miss Hunter,
taking out
which
the
I
Bazine
am
with a
terrified
Poe
of.
discard and just doing the 6 damage
And
to
I
base.
definitely am
There's the
like,
Miss
okay, so I
Hunters,
gotta
10
do
damage
something
on
about that
OMRs.
stupid thing.
You're
So
gonna be
we're
fine with
going
that, because again, you're
to
excited about
play our
being
Yaddle,
defeated.
get our Force
And
unit
there's
out.
Yaddle. So yeah, Eve building that.
And I believe I
Store-focused
force...
board, but
Do I
this
force throw
gave you the
myself or
addition of
him?
that
I can't
really
remember.
potent Poe Dameron unit.
Well, Yaddle is also going to enable Eve to potentially play this Force Throw, and now that Jordan has less cards in hand, might be able to come up with something impactful.
So that goes to
This
base, which
surprise
I think was
strike,
actually wrong. I think he
it's
should
kind
have
of a
hit
double-edged
Owen,
sword.
because
If
he's got to
Eve
clear
does
Owen
decide
or
to
it's
play
too
the
much
Force Throw, and I think
restore.
that's going to be the case, Jordan could get rid of the surprise
Okay,
strike
so So I did
and
force
then
throw him.
the
Which I think is
unit
actually a
might
little
survive,
risky. Looking
but
back now, it might have been better to
in the
force throw
return
myself
of
here to
that,
just
Jordan
completely
found that the
assure that
price
that Miss Hunter leaves.
I wonder,
Because he doesn't play a
none of
Forlon this
feels
turn,
good for Jordan, right? You want to have the surprise strike in hand.
like, it's a
just
really
reach
big
later.
deal that
I
he
was
doesn't
actually
have
wondering if
Forlon
we were
on
gonna
4,
see the
because that
Boba
means
Fett
I can't get
disintegrator unit
Zuckist,
discard
and that
unit
means
instead.
that
The
this
reason being is
Poe
that
is
the
staying
Zine is
for
gonna
a
die no matter
while.
what. But if you discard the Boba Fett, you still aren't discarding enough damage.
Another play I don't like
Mist
there,
Hunter.
now
So
looking
you
back, is I
preserve it
think I
that
should have
way.
done
So
it to the Mist
I
Hunter,
kind of like this decision.
and then I
because you know
should
you're gonna be able to draw
have
your 2 cards
discarded
next
off
phase
the
and ideally
Poe
draw a
and
unit
taken the Mist
that you
Hunter
can
out.
play to replace what you were going to play. And honestly, Boba Fett Disintegrator, not as exciting of a unit to play right now in this game state anyway, so I like saving this Surprise Strike.
Now, Eve does still have in hand that Red Squadron X-Wing, and that is going to be a welcome sight because it has the option when you play it to deal damage to itself to draw a card.
Yeah.
And if you look, I have Rey and a draw in hand, which is really important because now if any of my guys die this turn, which I believe we're on 5? We're in 5 or 6.
With that lurking TIE Phantom that we saw
2, 3, 4, 5.
Last game.
And we
are only on 5. Okay, so I don't have to worry about the leader coming out yet.
Use that epic action now that
they do some damage, but I do have 3 restore on board, so like I'm only taking 4, not 7, which is a really big deal.
It's still a card that needs an answer, and you know, potentially McClung.
And the funny thing about that is, like, sure, there's 2 things up there, but
I'm sorry, are we
they have to deal with damage, and that Zuckuss coming out but not having restore is a really big deal.
We should still be on 5. It just feels like it because Poe Dameron
really
hit the table on turn 2.
I think it's thrown me. I think you're not wrong there. Yeah, that's an early Poe.
And now I'm thinking, I'm like, what do I do here? Because I only have 2 cards in hand, so I can't
restore in Yaddle, but
I can't discard to do 2 damage and Rey, right? Because I have to discard my draw card to do it. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, what do I do here? There's so many options.
Now we have the strategy from game 1 literally facing off against the strategy from game 2. So I'll
take my 2 in. He's gonna get a draw here, unfortunately.
Most powerful part of each player's game plan here.
Yeah, good point.
And there's my Force.
Taken by Eve as Yaddle does generate that from the attack in combination with the ability on the base.
Take the 3 more.
3, and that'll be
he gets his draw, which is annoying.
Well.
I'm going to trade this, because like I said, as long as I keep alive, I'm in a pretty good spot. I would rather not be possibly hit by 6 here than keep the Poe.
Right, we're going to get to see it. I just saw the Yoda leader ability.
So there's that. We stacked the thing on top. Oop, that's too much damage.
X-Wing is going
there's the Rey. We do 2 and 2.
And deal 2 damage to the Mist
and I knew that was there because I stacked it.
Again, as long as that Rey sticks around in the hand, Eve can do this every time that she has a card draw ability. So this could be units that draw cards when they're played. Set 1 Yoda.
So now we're on to 6.
For example, when
so I don't have to worry about. I guess you could sneak attack a Boba in, but I don't have enough damage where I care that much about that.
Again, as long
or
as
not a Boba.
Option.
Yeah, very cool.
A Cad Bane.
Play pattern
but this is the Cad Bane leader flip. You notice I don't have a way to actually kill it. But that's fine. I have 3 restore. I have a vigilance here too, which is very good.
You don't quite have the resources for the Devastator yet. The second lurking TIE Phantom is cool.
Now he's gonna bounce that to take out that, which is interesting. I actually don't hate that play.
TIE Phantom a little bit safer. You know, will he use the Cad Bane ability here? Will we reorder things a little bit? Nope. Just go ahead and bouncing that Mist
So that's
Hunter.
fine.
Still has the resources.
Uses the Cad Bane, whatever. I can just put more damage on Owen.
So did ultimately use that Cad Bane ability there, and that makes sense because we are on the 6 resource turn, so this is when Jordan will be considering deploying Cad Bane.
So I want to make sure I get my restore in.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm going to swing at the Owen first.
4 damage to base.
4 damage to base is correct.
Thank you.
But it's after that restore from the Owen.
Yeah.
So again,
so there we go. I'm just getting my full restore in before the leader comes out or anything fancy happens. I know there's a pretty good chance I'm not keeping initiative this turn anyways, so I go for my Yoda play. And Owen does indeed get his trigger Rey if he searches it, so I believe I put that on top there. And interestingly, he chooses to actually eliminate the unit, which I don't know how I feel about that play.
Poe Dameron for the second time for Eve.
Poe comes out again. I'm just putting up threat damage. The downside here is if he does have
if you were paying attention, Eve did put that back on the top
a Cad Bane unit in hand. I do not have a way to deal with it right now. I don't have any ways to kill it in hand. And Yoda, I don't have a 7 to put on top either, notably.
Owen to be defeated.
The good news though is since he has he had 5 resources open, I think, I figure it's pretty assumed that he's not going to immediately claim. I don't know if he would have if he had the Cad Bane. Maybe that's the play. But if I get first attack off with Poe, he's going to do a lot of damage here.
Be the next card on top because Owen Lars allows you to search for 5. It's just a really consistent way to find that new raid.
So if you see, I finally found a Felder Dragon, which is important in this matchup because usually when you lose, it's to like one last big unit, right?
Nice as well. Poe gonna swing in and finish off the Cad Bane leader unit. I think that's
so that's fine. Unfortunately, by doing that, it allows the Boba Fett to kill Poe without taking any damage back. But that's fine. It took out the leader. I'm still happy with it.
Boba Fett running into Poe. Able to take him out with the ability to attacking.
There we go, get my restore. At this point, I think the Owen has restored 8 damage. That's why I like Owen so much. He's such a good card. He just sits there innocuously and like saves you turns and turns of damage.
Phantom. I did notice that Eve has now resourced that one ray. Decided to
so here we have a question. So by putting something other than the Luke I just drew on top, it gets a little bit scarier, right? Because I don't have a way to clear a Cad Bane, but the good news is I don't have to care anymore. Because he didn't play a Cad Bane, I get this flip. Originally this was going to kill the Boba Fett, but killing the Mist Hunter, way better.
You know, and I think that's fine. Now you play the second lurking TIE Phantom. That would have been targetable by Yoda anyway, but you at least get the Yoda deploy ability.
And there we go. We just trimmed down the damage. Now we have our massive restore up. And I think I'm not scared of anything anymore. I think at this point the game is essentially over.
So giving it -3/-3 reduces it to 0 HP.
Because I have Felder Dragon and I have Vigilance, right? So he can't like surprise, give me with like a double waylay, or not double waylay, double sneak attack or something weird like that. Because I have a heal 5 off Vigilance and 7 restore on board. And if he goes with either of his big units, I have a Felder Dragon. So I'm pretty much just set here now.
Health also has restored 2. We have the unit Luke Skywalker. Again, just an all-star ever since the game was released, coming all the way back from Sparker Rebellion.
So yeah, at this point he basically needs multiple Devastators and or Cad Banes in order to come back. I shut his drawdown, his Mist Hunter isn't there to draw him a bunch of cards anymore.
All of the options.
And yeah, now I have Fell, Force Throw, Vigilance, so like I am super set.
All of them have Restore. I think that you're fine with just sitting on 4 removal options. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You can pick the right tool for the job. You also have...
Yeah, they're even talking about like, I don't think she needs units anymore. Like, I agree. I don't need any units. I have all the units I need.
Use Vigilance to give the shield token to something. I'm telling you, it's rare. It's very rare. But situations like this where you're like, all right, well, what are my opponent's outs? And putting a shield on the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight or the Yoda.
So they're talking about putting shields on things. Putting shields on Yoda with Vigilance would be fine, but I would never want to put it on Luke because if Luke gets captured, it loses the shield. I lose all the value from that.
But I do think it's a play that you have to consider with this game state. It's rare. It's a fringe thing, but I think it's important to mention at least. Because a lot of people forget.
Yep, I'm sitting looking pretty here. I don't think there's much they can do anymore, honestly.
Well, if we're going to talk about fringe plays, then Vigilance can also...
And he just surrenders, yep. Which, I mean, he could have drug it out. It would have taken probably like 3 or 4 more turns to actually finish the game, but he was pretty toast at that point. He would have had to do like multiple Cad Banes and hope that I didn't draw another removal piece, which, that's the first Luke I think I saw and the first Felder Dragon, and I played 3. So at that point, yeah, he was just kind of cooked. So yeah, that was my experience. I got to play on this super sick stage. I mean, look at this thing. Galactics was so much fun. And they actually ended up giving me the match of the day too, which was pretty sick. I enjoyed that a lot. And yep, so this win got me to day 2 of the event, or day 1 of the main. I guess it depends on what you think. But a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the event. I'm gonna do a full deck profile for the deck. Probably sometime this week it'll come out. But yeah, hope you all have a nice afternoon. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.